Kamala Harris was on CNN last night for a town hall, which, look, I gotta say, I mean, I know the momentum has reversed in the race, as, you know, a lot of people suspected it would. I still say you hide her from the cameras and just hope that the normies show up for her. Just hope that the wine moms are too triggered by Trump to put you over the top, and that's it, because this is just not workable. So we got a few clips that we're going to play here. This is on the immigration question.
Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't.
Talk about a half second of silence that lasts a lifetime. She was really expecting a laugh there, you could tell. She was tossing to the audience to back her up with a laugh there. Why? Remember when he said Mexico would pay for it?
So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it?
She's reverting to the crazy laugh.
Yeah.
How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it?
Not one
in the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
Good ideas like the wall? Good ideas like the wall? Okay, we will let this play because it's very short, but he asked her about the wall again.
Anymore.
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything.
I mean, he didn't build the wall he promised to build?
I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
She can't even say she doesn't like the wall. She says, well, you know, he said he was going to build the wall, but he didn't build the wall. Okay, but that's the wall that you said was a stupid idea. Do you like the wall or do you not like the wall? And what is the I want to strengthen our border. She won't say no to the wall. This is how pathetic the Democratic Party is. In 2016, the wall was the metaphor for everything they hated about Trump. The wall was the metaphor for what a xenophobe he was, what a nationalist he was.
Democrats and Republicans had both been talking about a wall, a fence, going back to Clinton.
Yeah, but I'm saying in 2016, that was the metaphor. That was the thing. Trump, wall. The wall represented his nationalism, his racism, his fear-mongering, his this and that. 8 years later, they are...
And it's stupid. It's
It's
a medieval
taking
solution.
His position. Yeah. They are taking his position on the wall. They can't say it, which is why she has no answer there. But that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Like, his position on immigration has become the center. It has become the center. They have just completely ceded that ground. And it's so pathetic that is what their hair was on fire about 8 years ago. And they have nothing to say about it now. Jill Stein had a good answer on the wall last night. She said walls can actually kill people, and they can. They can, because they create these roundabout migration routes where people then cross over in the middle of the desert and they die. That has happened many times before. Our friend Ellen Jimerson has talked about this. She made a documentary on immigration. They're very bad for wildlife. A wall in the middle of the desert, if a wall gets between a land animal and the only source of water, which is the Rio Grande River, for miles and miles and miles, those animals die. hey, call me a softie and a hippie. I care about that. There are arguments against the wall. She can't make them. She can't make them and she won't make them. Instead, she just tosses up this ridiculous word salad where now she's blaming Trump. Now she's ridiculing Trump for not building the wall that she said was a ridiculous idea. Like completely incoherent.
Well, this is also a case study in what people who have refused to continue to accept the logic of the lesser of two evils have been arguing. Richard Nixon would be too far left for today's Democratic Party.
Right.
He created the EPA. He proposed UBI. He proposed a universal health care program more generous than Obama. It was shot down by Ted Kennedy because he thought later they could get something better under a Democratic president. That was a poor bet, as it turns out. This is in real time. Within a few years, you can see how this works. So when we say in a few years you're going to have somebody running with Donald Trump's positions,
right,
and Democrats are going to be saying you have to vote for them because the other candidate is Genghis Khan,
right.
Well, here you are. Here's Kamala in only a few short years running on Donald Trump's positions. This is what the lesser of two evils gets you. And if you think in 10 years you won't see Trump dancing with whoever the Ellen of the time is, you're crazy. You will. Yep. They'll rehabilitate him by comparison to whoever the villain of that moment is.
Yeah, right. When it's President Tom Cotton, they'll be embracing Donald Trump as the reasonable Republican who you can have a disagreement with. He never ruined Thanksgiving.
It is amazing to me. It is amazing to me how many Democrats have memory hold the fact that George Bush was every bit the Antichrist to the Democrats that Donald Trump is today.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was almost segment-worthy.
Threat to the Constitution,
oh, yeah.
Threat to democracy. All that language was there with Bush. They weren't calling him a reasonable Republican we have reasonable disagreements with. Dick Cheney was undermining freedom of the press, which he was. All that was valid. But now they're rehabilitated, so you can see it. You can see it in real time. Now George Bush is acceptable. And with much more basis than Donald Trump, people made the same accusations against George Bush. And now they'll tell you they never did. No, it wasn't like that. Yes, it was.
Of course it was.
Yes, it was.
Absurd.
What are you talking about?
This is now the libs are starting to get angry at George W. Bush again because he's not endorsing Kamala Harris. They're like, come on, Dick Cheney did it. You have to do it. I almost made a segment out of this today, but it would have required too much Twitter browsing in too little time. So maybe we'll do it over the weekend. But this lib, Jonathan Reiner, tweeted out, the silence of George W. Bush during the most consequential election in our lifetime is indefensible. And I quote tweeted, liberals are beginning to remember what a bad guy George W. Bush is. Like, yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a bad person. Yeah. That's why he killed almost 1 million Iraqis for no reason, because he's a bad man.
Issues.
Yeah, he's a bad man. So you shouldn't trust a bad man to do the right thing. Yeah, just unbelievable. Just really, really pathetic.
Please clap.